Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to a new Let's Talk. Let's Talk episode 3, I believe. And I'm back with Logan.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about True Detective Season 2.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. As always, Logan's link will be in the description. You can check out his channel. So yeah, let's delve into the second season of True Detective. Obviously, the first season had McConaughey and Woody Harrelson and Michelle Monaghan, and that season was absolutely fantastic. And now we got Vince Vaughn, Colin Farrell, Rachel McAdams, and Taylor Kitsch. So you want to start this off?
Well, obviously, I think with that kind of acting power, we were expecting probably a lot more than we got. But with that said, I still think the acting overall was fantastic in the show. Despite the writing and the storyline, I still thought the actors all did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, the actors this season didn't have a lot to work with in terms of like dialogue and stuff, because it was all pretty mediocre. The way things were written,
to put it lightly.
To put it lightly, yeah. So, what I felt with this season, what they tried to do is they tried to overcomplicate stuff.
Exactly.
It's like they tried so hard.
Yeah, they tried way too hard to live up to season 1, and it just ended up making it a convoluted, complicated mess that no one could understand.
And there were also like some characters that like almost like didn't matter at all.
Yeah, completely went to waste.
Yeah.
By the way, this is gonna be spoiler heavy, right? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So let's just warn everybody out there, if you're watching this, spoilers are coming.
Yeah. But that is a given with Let's Talk, because I did a full spoiler.
But just
thing
in
on
case anybody doesn't know, we don't.
Just in case. So we got Vince Vaughn, whose name is Frank Simeon.
Yep.
We got Rachel McAdams is Annie Bezzarides. We got Colin Farrell is Ray Velcoro, and we got Taylor Kitsch is Paul Woodrow. These are all our main characters this season.
I would throw in Frank's wife also. She's got her name in the credits, Kelly Riley, and she had a lot of screen time, but if that was necessary or interesting.
She was so useless. Yeah. Like the only time she mattered was in the last episode.
Even then, like, she was just there. Like I liked her character. I think I liked her attitude about everything. I like how she stood by her man the whole way through. That was fresh for me. Yeah. But she was just pointless. She didn't do anything. Like, there was no point. Mm-hmm. Like, they gave her so much screen time that I thought at the end eventually something was going to happen that would link her to the overall story, but nothing ever did. Like, she was just pointless.
Exactly. So yeah, they were really like reaching for stuff when in the second episode they killed Colin Farrell.
Killed in quotations, yeah.
Killed, like they had the cliffhanger of him getting shot with a shotgun, and it's like, oh, will he survive? Yes, it's the second episode. Of course he will survive.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a cheap tactic.
Yeah.
To kind of get some shock value, and especially in those first couple episodes where literally nothing was happening and nothing was really interesting yet. I thought that was kind of a weak move on their part. I didn't buy it, and I wasn't shocked when it happened. I just said, oh, okay, they're doing that.
Okay, so basically, the story of this season is that this guy got killed, and he got like put on display somewhere.
Ben Casper.
Ben Casper or Casper, whatever it is. Okay. And basically that links all of our main characters together, because I think didn't like Frank work with Casper like in some way.
All right,
like,
so I'll help you out with this a little bit, because
this
was one of the few. I binge watched this pretty much, and Aaron, you watched it week to week, right?
I watched it week to week.
Okay, so I'm a little more fresh on exactly what's going on, but The problem with this show overall was at the end of it, I had to read articles and listen to reviews to figure out exactly what happened. And if a show makes you do that, that's not really a good thing. Obviously, some things can be a little hard to understand. You may need to look them up. But if the entire plot is that way, it's just you can't really enjoy it because you don't know what's going on. But anyway, so this guy, Casper, he got killed. And he was basically a business partner of Frank, Vince Vaughn's character. And basically what was going on was Casper was making a deal with that corporation Catalyst. And if I understand right, they wanted to build this like railroad system that goes up California. And basically Frank, I guess, kind of invested $5 million in the deal. And what happened was Ben died with the money. And the money just evaporated. So he never got it back. And eventually, towards the end, we find out that he was never part of the deal to begin with. Ben Casper was going to screw him over anyway. And basically, Frank's whole arc is trying to get his money back, to figure out who killed Casper. And that's basically the entire plot, his entire storyline. Which I did like. It was confusing, but honestly, I think I enjoyed probably Vince Vaughn's character more than the others. Honestly, because of Vince Vaughn. I was so surprised of his performance. I had never really seen him in a dramatic role before, and from what you tell me, it didn't go well the first time he tried it. But I think he did really well. And even though his dialogue was incredibly cheesy and at sometimes and sounded ridiculous, I still really liked his character. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, I think Frank was my favorite character. For a while, it was Ray until he started talking like Batman.
I hear everyone say Taylor Kitsch talks like Batman. No, Ray talked like Batman.
He's like, I gotta do this for my son. I love my kid. I love my kid. It's like it was getting annoying at one point. I was like, Jesus Christ, just talk.
It didn't annoy me, but it was definitely noticeable.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like it was a character, so it just felt like Colin Farrell trying to do an American accent, but he tried to put so much like gruff on it that it came off as like semi-Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah, I still thought his performance overall was fantastic.
His performance was fantastic. It's just sometimes when he talks, especially in the last couple of episodes when he was like having a heart-to-heart with Bezaritas, he really like he was talking like that to the point where you almost couldn't understand him.
Yeah, it was tough sometimes, but I did like his portrayal. I liked his storyline, even the stuff with the kid. Like, I actually did like it, and I thought it was interesting. And I thought it was very predictable that he was going to be the dad all along, but I'm glad he was.
Definitely. I mean, like, with the first couple of episodes, I thought, like, the father was Vince Vaughn's right man.
Yeah, Blake.
Yeah,
the
Blake.
redhead, yeah.
The redhead, because the kid wasn't a redhead.
That was just too obvious for me.
Yeah,
if they had gone that route, I would have been very disappointed.
Yeah. But, it turns out that because the reason why it was unclear that that Ray might not be the father is because the wife got raped one night, and Ray thought that he killed the man
what
who
did you
raped
think
her.
about them kind of subtly hinting at not hinting, but they basically said it, but they didn't just come out and say it. They kind of just subtly said, "Hey, I killed a guy for doing it." Like, what did you think about that?
I thought it was okay. It was handled all right, I thought, but I don't know. It just was a little too cheesy for my liking.
Oh, really? Okay.
But what I did like is that he killed the wrong guy, and that he really had a problem with that. That's what I really.
I thought the realization when he figures out that they caught the real guy. I thought the acting in that specific scene where they tell, or I think his ex-wife tells him that they caught the guy. He's just devastated. Yeah. You can totally tell.
Yeah, that was an amazing performance. What I also really liked was the chemistry between Ray and Frank. I thought I thought Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell worked off each other really good, and especially that one scene where he is at Frank's house.
The
and
kitchen
they both
table.
yeah, they
where
both
got
have a
the
gun
guns
on the
pointed at
table.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah, I like that scene. It's a good scene.
yeah, I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, the first half of this season isn't that good.
No, it's a slow burn.
Really?
Yeah, and then things start picking up. I think at the end of episode 4, where we get the big shootout. Even though you said you weren't really a fan of that, I still think that was kind of the point where things start getting a little more interesting.
I mean, I really liked seeing people get shot, but I don't know. It just didn't grab me like some like in other shows when they have like a big shootout like that. For example, True Detective season 1, with the one continuous shot of Matthew McConaughey going through those houses and with the gangs. It was absolutely brilliant. I thought that was perfect. But the scene was still good. It just didn't grab me. But I do think that was a turn point of the show where it went a better direction. It still wasn't what I wanted it to be, but at least it got better, and we got a little bit more of Paul's character, who before that was just Mr. Bland.
Yeah, let's talk about Paul a little bit, because I feel like he was, other than Jordan, probably one of the most wasted characters on the show, especially for a main character.
Yeah, because he was like one of the main characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was. The only thing we knew about him is that he was in the army. Was he in the army?
So he like worked for like some kind of military like group. It was like, what was it called? Black Mountain or something like that.
Wasn't it like some mercenaries?
Kind of, yeah. And they kind of hinted at something happened, like he's got all the burn marks and the scars, and then that one guy that he has that relationship with. And they set all that up like, oh, this guy has a crazy past. We're not going to get into it until later, but they never get into it.
They literally
they just
never
he
get
died.
into it.
It all died with him. Like in the finale, literally no mention of him really until the very end, when they show him getting a memorial highway in his name.
Yeah, I mean, we get the police guy on the phone talking to Ray, saying that Woodrow's dead. They sort of have a sad reaction. Then we see his like body in a body bag, and literally for the rest of the episode, no mention at all for Paul anymore.
Yeah, and his girlfriend and his mom are just left in the hotel room, and like they never give any closure on that whole storyline. And I understand you don't have to tie up every loose end, but they didn't tie up any.
It would be nice. It would be nice if they at least tied up his loose end.
They just left it all open. It's like, what was all that point with him and the mom? Obviously, there's something going on there. They never really explain what.
Also, they did two things that I don't like. They did the same thing twice that I don't like. They did it with Ray and Bezaritas, and they did it with Paul and his girlfriend. When Paul died, all of a sudden you cut to his girlfriend in the hotel room, and all of a sudden she
like that. Oh yeah, we felt she just felt something that means he died. Yeah,
and they did it in the finale with Bezaritas and Ray as well, where she started crying on the boat all of a sudden. It's just I just don't like that. It's just we're connected like that.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's kind of silly.
I mean, maybe with the girlfriend and Paul, I could maybe understand it, but with Ray and Bezaritas, they only like banged. Like,
okay, so that's the thing.
One day.
What did you think about them eventually getting together? Kind of obvious that was going to happen, but did it feel forced to you at all?
No, not really. I thought that they had the connection, that they that it was natural that they would get together, and the way they executed it was a little weird when she like was drugged and she like.
Well, that was a good character moment for Ray when he said, "No, you're fucked up. I'm not gonna take advantage of you," and he waited. So I liked that. But this is the thing I didn't like, and we haven't really talked about Annie that much yet, so we can kind of go into that if you want. But
yeah, sure.
She was a badass the entire series, and I liked her character. She held her own. But then once her and Ray get together, and in the finale, she just becomes completely helpless, and she's just got puppy eyes the whole time for Ray. Her character completely changed, and I thought it was really weird.
It was like, for like most part of the season she was like Claire Underwood from season 1 and 2 of House of Cards, and the final episode she was Claire Underwood from season 3 of House of Cards.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
even then, I almost think in that case she became more distant from Frank, but in Frank Underwood, not the Frank in True Detective. But
I know.
In this, she got closer to Ray, which
Yeah.
ruined her character. So it was kind of the same like process, but in the opposite direction. So I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
And also,
I didn't like
what-
how her character changed because of that. I thought it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. What I didn't like is it's like the same thing with Paul, where we get like stuff about his past, but they don't delve into it.
Right.
Same with her, with like when she's at that party and she gets hallucinations of that guy. She was like, of like when she was a kid. She talks about it in the finale, but it was more about what her feeling was during that. They don't really like delve
Yeah.
into what actually happened.
Yeah, and then like with Paul, why is he so upset about being gay? Like obviously a lot
Yeah.
of people don't want to be gay, but there's something going on there that really makes him despise it. Like something that happened to him as a kid or
Exactly.
something, and they never even touch it.
Never ever. And I think that's what that's like the tagline for this season, like missed opportunities.
Hmm.
It's I think like the character we probably got the most backstory was Frank, of his stories when he's with his wife, like when he lays in bed and he talks
Yeah.
about his past. I thought those scenes were really good because Vince Vaughn, I was not convinced of him like when he got cast. I was like, oh no, you're gonna have Vince Vaughn in a dramatic role, but he really held his own. And
Yeah,
I thought
I really enjoyed it.
he was by far the best actor in that season.
Yeah, I still think Colin Farrell might have been a little bit better, but Vince Vaughn was definitely the biggest. I got the most out of his character. I really enjoyed him every time he was on screen, and he really was intimidating. Like I really bought it.
He was. Yeah, I heard that people have a problem with that one scene where he beats up the fat guy in. Like,
Oh yeah, that like street fight,
Yeah.
like that little
Yeah.
like that
I
shimmy
like
and
that.
jab he does.
I liked that. I thought it was cool.
I thought
It-
I
like-
liked it, but I could see why people didn't like it because it was a little unrealistic. Like people, I don't really see people putting their hands up like that, especially a character like that. Unless he's actually trained, which I don't think they ever say he's like trained in boxing or anything like that. He looked
Yeah,
like a
it's-
boxer. He didn't look like he was fighting a guy.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was a
exactly.
little silly, but I still
It was.
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. So throughout the season we get like so many side characters thrown at.
Yeah, that's the problem. Way too many characters. You hear a name mentioned and you have no idea who they're talking about. Like one of the biggest characters in terms of the antagonists in the show,
Tony
the
Chisholm?
son of the mayor. You see him in one scene the entire show, and then he ends up becoming the mayor at the end, and he was a huge part of the conspiracy. So you have no idea who they're talking about the whole time, and then you're like, oh, that guy that we saw once for 2
Yeah, and,
minutes.
like every time they said the name Tony Cisani, I had to go on Google and
Exactly.
Google his face. I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Same thing with the son who killed Holloway at the end, who was the son of the parents who got killed in the
Oh, the
92 heist.
Len guy.
The
or
film
whatever.
set photographer.
Oh wait, who?
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The guy who was wearing the hoodie at the end in the train station. Who stabbed
where
the
he
guy.
where he stabbed that police
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
Holloway.
literally seen for 2 seconds once, and he ended up being huge. That I buy a little bit more, only because
Yeah, because he ended up being Casper's killer.
yeah, you want it to be someone unexpected, and you don't want it to be somebody super obvious. But it's so hard to keep track of characters that when the reveal finally happens, you're like, who is that again? And then you go, oh, okay.
Exactly.
And there's no big surprise. You don't. It doesn't make you feel anything. You know what I mean?
You've watched Dexter, right?
Yeah.
How did you like Vince Masuka being in?
Oh yeah, when I saw him at first, I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. Who is that? And then I was listening to a podcast about True Detective, and they said, oh, Masuka is trying to run for governor. I'm like, oh,
Exactly. And when I saw him, all I could think was that laughing as in Dexter's like.
yeah. It was such a minor character, but that was nice. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
it was awesome seeing him. I was like, hey, that's Vince
Yeah.
Masuka. Yeah, and then you have I don't even know who he is anymore. That Russian guy. What did he
The
have
guy
to do with it?
that Vince Vaughn killed at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
he basically was the guy that was partnered with Ben Casper for the railroad, and he was planning to screw Frank all along. That's why he ended up losing the clubs at the end. And he said, "Frank, you're out. We own the clubs now." And then Frank torched him. And I liked him, but again, just another character that just you have to keep track of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this season like had a lot with like because I don't even know like what Masuka's character's name was. Like,
Yeah, I don't
know.
remember his name either. All I know is he was running for governor. That's all I know. Or mayor,
And
whatever it was.
I think it was governor.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like this season does that a lot, where it just throws so many side characters in your face that you cannot keep track of it. Like one of the who was the henchman that followed Blake around, like Frank's henchman?
The guy that got killed, that Blake killed, and then Vince Vaughn visited his house and talked to his son. I can't remember his name, but yeah, you're the whole time you're like, who is this guy? He doesn't even matter, and he was such a prominent part of the story. You literally saw him in like one scene. He was in the background. He had no dialogue, and he didn't matter. And they spent a whole bunch of time on him. It's like, why? I don't get it.
I really did enjoy that scene where he kills Blake. That entire scene, Vince Vaughn is so intimidating.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think that might be one of my favorite scenes of the entire show.
Yeah, definitely
It's-
up there. That was great.
It's just, and the guy who plays Blake had a great performance as well.
And I love how
liked it.
his wife is coming and he's like, nope, let her in. And then she sees
Yeah.
him dead on the floor and he's like, yep, this is what we're into now. And I was just like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that was really cool, and I really liked that scene where he like chokes him, and then and for a second it looked like he was gonna let Blake go, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
don't let him go, because it's gonna bite you in the ass. But in the end, he ended up being smart, and he killed him.
Yeah, brutal too. He let him bleed out on the floor and he's like
Yeah.
gargling on his blood. That was gross.
Yeah, he shot him. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene. But how have we missed stuff?
Well, this is one other thing that confused me. In the finale, when they're all on the run because they're being framed, I had no idea what they were being framed for, so I had to look it up. So basically, Ray is running because the Vinci cops framed him for killing the Davis, that black chick. That's the only way I can describe her. The black chick that put him on the case. I had remember he runs to the car and she's dead in the car.
The one from Nightcrawler, right? Yeah. Okay.
She's dead in the car and he sees her and he bolts it.
Yeah.
And that's what they framed him for. And I had no idea that's what it was. I had to look it up after the fact. And then Benavides, or whatever her name is.
Bezavides.
See, I told you I can't get her name right. She was on the run because she killed that guy in the sex party with the knife.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then Frank obviously was on the run because he killed everybody and he burned down the clubs. And that was kind of a short-sighted move on his part, forgetting about the Mexicans who he promised to let have funneled the drugs through. So what did you think about that scene? Because overall, I liked the scene. It gave me a really Breaking Bad feel.
Yeah, because they were like all
in the desert. And yeah.
And I really, at one point, I thought Frank was gonna say my name. But yeah, I mean, I know why Frank didn't want to give him his suit because he had the diamonds but I mean, Frank wasn't really smart. He could have like put the diamonds somewhere else.
Yeah. Or just do a sleight of hand. Just take them out of your pocket, take the suit off. I mean, they're little diamonds. I mean, they aren't gigantic.
Exactly. Shove them up your butt. I don't know.
Yeah. And then one other thing in the finale that didn't make sense. He had to stop by his kid's school, didn't he?
Yeah, and then the weird salute.
Yeah.
If we
and why did the kid have the badge with him? Like, I get why they put it there to show that the son like cared or whatever. But still, it's like, come on, no
Yeah.
one would bring that to school.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if Ray wouldn't have stopped by the kid's school, he may have survived.
Exactly. That's why. What, dude? You're on the run. You've got a
Yeah.
bunch of money. You got guns. You're trying to get out of the country. Skype him when you get to Venezuela. Just hit him up on Skype. I mean, come on, man.
Just use Skype.
He's been a great detective the entire show, and then he pulls that shit. It's like, why are you? Well, you got to be so stupid at the end. And they killed him because it was the finale, not because it made sense, but they killed him because it was the finale, and that's why I didn't care when it happened. And then the other thing I didn't like, the whole him trying to send that last message to his son. I liked it visually.
God.
I like how they show a failed descend. It's like, oh, I hit you in the heart, but. What was he trying to send him? What they showed him recording in the car, it didn't matter. It was just some random like gibberish. It's not like he said, "Son, I've been waiting to tell you this, but I am your real father." If it was something like that he actually needed his son to know, then it would have a lot more weight. But it was just another message. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing they did is like the only thing he did was like motivate his son with that voice message.
Yeah.
That's that message didn't have like any like.
And also, once
purpose.
again, wait till you get to Venezuela and then send it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You could get. I'm sure they got some sort of Wi-Fi there.
I mean, yeah, of course. Duh.
I mean, this isn't the 1950s.
It's like. The two people in the entire season who were probably the smartest, Frank and Ray, like were so dumb in those final 20 minutes.
Exactly, and it was just completely opposite of what their characters were set up as.
Exactly, because Ray is a professional. He knows that he can't see his son because he's gonna get fucked. What does he do? He goes to see his son.
And Frank made all the right moves up until that point.
Yeah, I mean, why did you really have to punch the guy? I mean. It got you killed, you idiot.
Yeah, not smart.
Not smart at all. By the way, at the end, whose kid was that? Was that Bizarritas or was that?
It was
Jordan's kid?
Ray and Annie's kid, from what I gathered, and that didn't make sense either. Who cares? They didn't want a kid. They had a one-night stand, pretty much, and they get a kid out of it. It would have been so much better if it had been Kelly Riley's kid, because they were the ones trying to have a kid, and that would have been a much more emotional, powerful thing.
Yeah, because she couldn't have kids. At least I thought that she couldn't have kids.
Right, and if she had the kid, it would have been like, oh, it's a miracle, and it would have felt a lot better. It didn't make sense to have it be Annie's kid. It's like they never wanted a kid in the first place.
You know what would have been even cheesier if she named the kid Ray.
Oh my gosh, Ray. Yeah.
Ray. You're like, no.
Yeah, let's just throw another cliche in there.
Yeah, it's.
And one more thing that pissed me off about this season. I know there's been a lot. I swear I could probably map out the entire freeway system of LA at this point. They showed a shot of the freeway every 10 seconds in the show. Why? I get it. It's like a transition, but it's the same thing every scene. They transition with a shot of the freeway.
Logan, it's not LA, it's Vinci.
Well, Vinci's technically in LA.
I know. But yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why? I don't get it.
Also, I ended up like with the intro song, I ended up laughing all the time.
Oh, I skip the intro every time. I'm not gonna sit through 2 minutes of credits.
I was not cut.
Yeah, the first episode I watched the intro, I'm like, nope, not feeling it.
Yeah, because like the intro of the first season was so good.
Well, I never really care about intros anyway. I just want to get into the show. I skipped the previously on True Detective. I always skip that, and I skip the next time on True Detective. I always skip that also.
Well, I don't know. Like with the first season of True Detective and like Daredevil, I always like ended up watching the intro because I liked the intro so much.
Yeah.
But like with this one, I just ended up laughing every time I saw the intro because the song, I don't know, it feels like a guy trying to be like a country singer. It's like almost like a parody of like a country song. It wasn't that good.
Yeah. So is there anything we liked? Because this has been pretty much negative.
This has been like trash talking True
Yeah.
Detective season 2. Well, like I said, I thought Frank's character and Frank's arc was really good.
Mhm.
I thought Ray overall was good until he started talking like Batman.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I liked the whole scene in like the mansion. Like
Which one?
The part, like the entire like mansion thing, like the party scene.
Oh, the party. Yeah.
Yeah. I like everything.
Where
about
she
that.
was like tripping on Molly.
Tripping on that Molly. where she kicked that pervert in the dick. That was that was a great moment. But even though I still think the season is okay, I cannot really say like anything positive right now.
Yeah, episodes 5 and 6, I was like, okay, we're actually getting somewhere. This might actually win me over. And then the finale just crapped.
It was so lackluster.
It's just I was disappointed.
Yeah, me too, and like it was so hard to follow stuff this season.
Exactly. The first season, it was still a little complicated, and you still had to pay attention, and there was still a lot of mystery, but it made sense. You could put the pieces together. You weren't confused the entire time.
But by the way, that the guy who killed Casper, Lynn.
Yeah.
Was he in any other episode? Because
he was the set photographer in that one episode where they go to the movie set.
Ah.
He was taking pictures, and they talked to him for like a few seconds.
So they basically did the same thing as in True Detective season 1, where he was talking to the guy on the lawnmower. And
Right, but that was a way bigger, that was a much more memorable scene. You remember the lawnmower scene. You didn't remember the, you know what I mean? There were just way too many characters, way too many.
Yeah. I probably people watching probably think that we absolutely hate this season, that we like.
I didn't hate it. It's just there's so much to talk about in terms of what they did wrong, and it honestly, what I liked about it is I enjoyed watching it. I mean, I didn't hate myself watching it. I wasn't like, oh, gotta get through this. I was still following along. I was with it. I was just confused.
I'm gonna be honest. It took me a few days to watch the finale because I just wasn't feeling it.
Okay, I still was on board, but honestly, the acting is what got me through it.
Yeah. I can honestly say that everybody who was in the show acted really well. Even Taylor Kitsch.
I liked Taylor Kitsch. I liked his character, but then he ended up being a complete waste. So it was like, oh, okay. So the road to get there was great, but it was the final destination that was like, oh, this is lame. It's like going to Disneyland and you get there and it's completely closed.
I also saw like a couple of comments like on like a preview for like the next episode on True Detective when Paul got killed. It's like the preview for the finale. The like people like in the comments, see people say that Paul's character didn't matter at all, that he was just a waste. See, it's all connected to him. How is it all connected to him?
It's not.
It's not all connected to him. Not at all. The only thing he did is that he got the chance to kill Holloway, but he didn't do it because he only
literally
knocked him
the
out.
only thing that mattered was he used to work for that military group that is now in cahoots with that Catalyst company.
Yes.
That's literally the only reason why he was there. So like all the stuff about him being gay, all the stuff about his mom, all the stuff about his girlfriend didn't matter.
Not at all. It's if they would have like cut out his character and like maybe like killed, I don't know, maybe he killed Bizarrides in that same episode, like in the same way, it wouldn't have changed anything.
Right.
If they cut out like his entire storyline, it wouldn't have mattered for the story at all.
He just wanted to ride the bike. That's all he wanted.
Man, that bike. He just wanted that, man.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, do we have anything else to talk about, like the True Detective?
Well, let's just say that I will definitely, when I can, buy season 1 on Blu-ray. Season 2, I probably will never watch again. But I am excited for season 3, especially when they're going to announce the cast. If it's another great cast, I'll be excited for it. Because the good thing about the show is they can just hit the reset button. They could change everything. They don't have to keep these same characters. If that were the case, it would be in trouble. But the fact that they can hit the reset button and start over, I am still excited for season 3.
You know who they almost casted in season 2? David Schwimmer.
Oh, really?
Fucking Ross from Friends. They almost casted him, and he was probably gonna be Frank then, because he has like Vince Vaughn's build.
I'm so glad it was Vince Vaughn though.
Imagine him as Frank. Oh my god, those are gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, who would you like to see in season 3?
I don't know. I mean, they casted Vince Vaughn, so they could cast pretty much anybody.
Yeah, but like, what is like an actor that you would like to see in season 3?
It's tough because obviously my favorite actors are all like A-listers and they're not going to do TV.
Yeah, but McConaughey is an A-lister.
Yeah, you're right. You're
right.
right.
An A-lister.
I heard somebody say a guy like Tom Hardy. I mean, I'll watch him in anything.
Exactly, me too. I would watch him in anything.
But he's got a lot of stuff, so that probably would never happen. But I like the surprise cast. I like a Vince Vaughn casting. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would also like to see like someone like Benedict Cumberbatch in the show. But like he would fit in anything.
Yeah.
Like you put him in anything and he's good. I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone who hasn't like done anything good in a while. He needs something good, like Vince Vaughn, like Colin Farrell.
Well, I still think Colin Farrell is on the up. I mean, the last thing I saw him in was Saving Mr. Banks. I thought he was incredible in that.
He was incredible in Saving Mr. Banks. Yeah, I give you that. I even have Saving Mr. Banks.
And then Rachel McAdams, like she was just in Southpaw, and she's doing stuff, but.
She's doing all right.
Taylor Kitsch was a guy that's he just can't get a good role to save his life. Every role he plays ends up being crap.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Battleship and he was in John Carter.
Oh, X-Men Origins. I mean, he's a good actor too. It's just
he is.
He just keeps getting dealt a bad hand.
They should get G.I. Courtney for season 3.
Oh no, please no.
Hell no. If they put G.I. Courtney in season 3, I'm out. I'm not even gonna watch it.
Yeah, that might end it for me too.
Well, if they have Vince Vaughn in True Detective, why not put Owen Wilson in?
That would be incredible.
Or what about Jon Favreau? I'm just trying to think of like with
honestly, if they did, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they could cast anybody.
Favreau is a good actor.
Yeah,
I mean, they could.
Chef is a great movie, by the way.
Chef is a brilliant movie. I think he has like too many movies, but like Robert Downey Jr. would be good for something like this.
Obviously, but that's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen.
I mean, he's.
I would love to see Chris Evans in
yeah, well, he is going more indie lately, and he said that he doesn't want to really be in the big superhero movies much longer.
Yeah, isn't like Infinity War going to be his last?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like they could, because after that they said like he wanted to focus on directing, like act sometime. They could like cast him in True Detective then.
Yeah,
I mean,
that would be amazing.
If they cast Chris Evans, I would forgive them for season 2.
Yeah, well, I have high hopes. I think they could redeem themselves. They just tried way too hard to live up to season 1 instead of making it its own thing. And
it's just the writer of season 1, like the creator, got a little like on his high horse with this season.
Pizzolatto. He got rid of Fukunaga or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Who
did a great job in season 1, and they brought on Justin Lin.
Yeah. By the way, I almost didn't recognize him, but like that. Oh, never mind. That's in another show. Never mind.
It's hard to keep track sometimes.
I just saw the latest episode of Mr. Robot, and it's absolutely amazing. But B.D. Wong was in that episode.
B.D. Wong.
Yeah, and he played a tranny.
Who would you be more excited to see if he showed up on screen, B.D. Wong or Masuka?
B.D. Wong.
Masuka was pretty amazing though.
Masuka was
yes.
amazing, but like BD1 was a tranny in Mr. Robot for an episode. So.
What? I need to
Yep.
watch that show. I've heard amazing.
It's a
things.
fantastic show. You need to watch it. It's right now. It's probably my favorite show out there. It's really good. So I think that's gonna end it for our True Detective Let's Talk. This was a shorter one. Yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Thanks for listening to our bitch fest.
Yeah. Final verdict. It's okay.
What would you give it like a score? Because obviously, I think it's safe to say season 1's a 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah.
So what would you give this?
3.
Yeah, I agree.
3.
Which is
maybe
still
even 2.
decent. I mean,
Yeah, that's what the season was. It was still decent, but it
Yeah.
wasn't that good. And I think that's like a 3.
Yeah.
3 is like, it's something, but it's not like really that good.
right.
So yeah, like True Detective season 1 obviously is a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna end it for now. I want to thank Logan for joining me in this Let's Talk. Something tells me he's gonna be in the next Let's Talk as well.
Just every Let's Talk is going to be me.
And we're totally not gonna film the next one right after this. Why would you
Oh,
say such a
no.
thing?
Why would we do that?
Why would you think of that? I mean, anyway, thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.